Welcome to Mother-Daughter Projects. I'm Steph. Today we're going to make long double shelves. My nephew has a growing Lego collection and needed shelves to display his sets. He has a lot of wall space, so we measured the space and decided on the size of the shelves. We purchased two 1x10 10-foot common boards and cut them down to 6-foot and 4-foot lengths. We also bought 8 10-inch steel shelf brackets. We wanted to tie the two shelves in visually, so we decided to use leftover chain link and some 2-hole straps to hold it in place. And we're going to cut them slightly so that the chain will fit. To finish the shelves, Mom sanded them with 220 grit sandpaper. We really wanted a smooth and durable finish on these, as these will be in a kid's room and hopefully he'll be using these for many years to come. First, Mom applied a pre-stain conditioner to the pine wood to make sure the stain goes on evenly. We decided on a mid-wax red oak as the stain. My nephew wanted a bit of an Adventureland at Walt Disney World feel for these shelves. Once that was dry, Mom applied a clear poly to further protect the shelves. Mom also painted the straps and chain black to match the wall brackets. With all that done, we headed to Orlando to install them in my nephew's room. We're trying out a full stud finder from Ryobi in this build. Normally our go-to is a magnetic stud finder, but we bought this one a while back and hadn't had a chance to try it yet. We marked the stud and decided where we wanted to place the shelves, being mindful of my nephew's height, but also that he's going to grow. We lined up the first shelf and marked it, and double-checked that it was right on a stud. I drilled a pilot hole and screwed it into the stud. With both brackets up, we were able to check the shelf and it fits perfectly. We repeated the process for the other shelves. We started by getting the bottom shelves completed before starting on the top two. As we worked, we were very mindful that everything was level and fit correctly. When drilling pilot holes, I used a sticky note to catch the drywall dust that was created. We ended up using both stud finders for this project, and we'll talk about why at the end of the video. We also attached 2 screws to the bottom of each bracket to hold the shelves more securely into place. Next, we figured out the placement of the chain. We were originally going to have it up and down like this, but my nephew liked the idea of making it angled, which we like too. We cut the chain to size with our bolt cutters, then used a center punch to mark the placement and screwed it into place. And here are the shelves all completed. We're really happy with the finish and the additional look the chain provides. We've used these crate and pallet brackets for a few different shelves, and we really like the quality, the strength, and the ease of install. They come in 2 different configurations, and for this project we used the J steel design, and they felt just as strong as the others. So here's the before and after. My nephew loves these shelves as they are the perfect height for him, and he'll be able to hold Lego sets or whatever he wants to display for the future. Now I have 3 nibblings, so during this install the other 2 wanted shelves from me and Mom as well. So of course we're going to make that happen in an upcoming video, but they're not going to be as custom as this because they don't need to be, and they don't have as much wall space, so stay tuned for what we do in their rooms. What we learned. Here's a breakdown of what we paid for these shelves, not including what we already had on hand. So you can see if we had to buy the chain and stain supplies, it would have been well over $200. With the size of these shelves and the unique size of the wall, custom was the only option for shelving. But you'll see in our next video that if you don't need something so custom, you can get something that costs less that's already pre-made. We didn't show this in the video because we didn't end up using it, but we did put pocket holes on the longer shelves because we were going to screw them together for a stronger hold. But the stud in the wall made the bracket placement right at the end of the board, not giving us space to use the pocket holes. But in the end, the shelves were plenty strong without the extra connection, so I wouldn't bother with the pocket holes if I was to do this again. Lastly, we mentioned we were going to try out the full stud finder by Ryobi that is supposed to show you where the stud starts and ends. It does a good job at that, but it doesn't tell you where the metal screws are in the stud, and those are the screws that they use to attach the drywall to the studs. And that's why we like magnetic stud finders, because they will actually find the screw in the stud so that you know where a stud is and you know to avoid that screw and not screw into a screw. And we ran into this issue when we were using the full stud finder. It found the stud, but I just happened to drill right over the spot where there was a screw in the wall, and I couldn't use that hole, so we had to make adjustments and patch that hole. So that's why we would use the full stud finder to find the stud, and then we would double check it with the magnetic stud finder to make sure we weren't over a screw. So a magnetic stud finder just uses magnets, and it doesn't need batteries like the whole stud finder does. So we did give it a try, but our go-to is going to be the magnetic stud finder. I think for most projects we'll be able to just use that and don't have to deal with batteries or anything like that. Thanks for watching. If you want to see more projects from us, be sure to visit us at motherdaughterprojects.com. And if you like this video, give it a big thumbs up and hit subscribe.